course, you knew who it was already. It's Trey Lance. And this is a guy that I think there are a lot more questions than answers, but there are a lot of things that you see with him that tell you that this guy can get it done, man. I mean, there are a lot of things that really get you excited. And I think there are some perfect fits in this draft for specific schemes. And this is a guy that, to me, fits like hand in glove in a particular scheme. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show. But let's get to his card and flip this thing over and talk about Trey Lance and what he brings to the table. 6'3", 224-pound quarterback. So, the first thing we're talking about is size and physicality. He's a big kid. He runs. I mean, there are games like the national championship game. His final meaningful game in college was the national championship game versus JMU. And I lie to you not, the guy had 30 carries in the game. 30 freaking carries by the quarterback. I mean, at times he was a running back. And that's okay when you're at, North Dakota State. But at the next level, you're not looking for your quarterback to run it, 25 times in a game. That's just not what we're doing up here at this level. So he's got physicality, though. He's got the size. He's a thickly built guy that can withstand the rigors of the NFL game. That is for sure. Arm talent. He can get the football wherever you need it to go. Really like his arm strength. I think he can throw the football a ton. I think he's got one of the better arms in this draft, if you ask me. Athleticism and mobility. He's a runner. He can run. He's not. And so you see my comp down at the bottom. We'll talk about that. The one thing I would say that is a little bit different is when Donovan first came in the league, he was making dudes miss. We all remember the Mark Carrier shakedown. I mean, we all remember that like it was yesterday, especially if you're a Washington fan. That was the first year we got Mark Carrier and Bruce Smith and all those guys. And he sung that Gregory Abbott song, Girl, I want to shake you down. Shook his ass down. I mean, broke him down to his damn socks and drawers. It was bad. He's not doing it. Trey Lance isn't doing it. But he will run your ass over. He will run your ass over. Pro-style offense and fakes. My God, are his fakes. And, this is something that people don't really talk about with quarterbacks. How well you carry out fakes. The difference between a guy running a deep cross and a guy and getting open against a linebacker that's supposed to be getting depth and that linebacker sagging right underneath that deep cross and him not being open. The difference between that is how well you show that football and show fake and show run. His run action fakes are exquisite. He shows the football. He makes you believe that this is a run. You can't help but take a couple of steps up as a linebacker. And now he's got that deep cross behind you. Boop! Drops it over your head where you're supposed to be. And he's under center. This is one of the things we all love about these North Dakota State quarterbacks. Whether it's Carson Wentz or it's Easton Stick or now it's Trey Lance, we know they're coming from a pro-style offense. They're under center. They're handing off the ball. They're going run action fake. They're doing all of the little things that you don't see most of these college quarterbacks doing from under center. Accuracy, all three levels. Another one of these guys that just doesn't miss a ton of opportunities. He was a 67%, completion guy in his lone year as a starter at North Dakota State. And again, they're built-in bubbles and quick passes at or around the line of scrimmage, but there was a fair share of passes down the field. And again, he just doesn't miss a lot of these throws. So he can throw it with accuracy at all three levels. Throws with touch. There are several throws where you watch him and you go, man, that's nice. That's really, really nice. Where he just puts it on the money with soft touch, where only his guy can get it over a defender. You go, man, that's nice. Avoids mistakes. It's a gift and a curse. Look, I don't want my guy turning it over. So if I can at all avoid mistakes, that's what I want my guy to do, not turn it over. But with that said, it also could be a curse. Look, he didn't turn it over but one time. I didn't count that 2020 exhibition. Let's call it what it was. It was an exhibition. It was the stupidest thing I've ever seen nor heard of. Like, that's so disrespectful to all of the players involved in that. You got one of his offensive linemen that could potentially be drafted, risking his future just because you want a showcase game for Trey Lance. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. It was stupid. It was reckless by North Dakota State for even allowing that. It was selfish. And I'm glad nobody really got hurt. I don't even count that game. I didn't even watch the film for that game because it wasn't a real football game. So, to me, he threw an interception in that game. I don't care. That doesn't count. There's no carryover. It didn't matter. He knew it didn't matter. It didn't matter. It was a stupid game. He didn't throw an interception all of 2019. Not a single one. Now, I watched his games, and there were several throws he could have had picked off, but they weren't. And so he didn't have an interception. He had one fumble. And the one fumble, he had one fumble that he lost. He fumbled 3 times. But he only lost one fumble, okay? Or excuse me, he fumbled 4 times. But he only lost one fumble, all right? And that was an exchange between he and a running back on a read option. And he couldn't decide if he wanted to pull it or give it. The running back didn't know, and it was all funky. The ball gets fumbled, it gets scooped up. That's his one fumble. He didn't turn it over very often. He takes care of the football. He's a playmaker. He can create off schedule. And in this league, there is a premium that's put on being able to create off schedule. The best in the league are able to create off schedule. Whether you're talking Mahomes, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson. I could go on and on. When we're talking about the creme de la creme in the NFL, Deshaun Watson, these are guys that can extend plays and create off schedule. Trey Lance can do that, and you watched him do it time and time again at North Dakota State. And finally, he's a winner, man. 16-0 in his collegiate career. Doesn't get any better than that. He was perfect. Now, again, not a ton of starts. We'll get to that in a second. But every game he played, he won. What more can I say? And then you get to his weaknesses. Lack of starting experience. Only 16 starts, okay? We're all aware of this. It doesn't change the way you feel about him. It's just something that you note. Lack of adversity. This is something that's really big for me, okay? He didn't lose any games in college. So I don't know how he's going to respond to a 2-game losing streak. I don't know how he's going to respond when he throws an interception late in a ball game and they lose. And is that going to carry over the next week into a poor start or a poor performance and they lose again? Is one loss going to turn into 2? How about when he throws an interception? Hasn't done that yet. Hasn't thrown an interception since high school. So what's going to happen when he throws an interception? He throws a pick 6 early in a ball game. Is he going to drop his head? Is that pick going to then change how aggressive he is the remainder of that game? Or is he going to bounce back, selective memory, wipe it from the memory bank, and go out and kick ass? I don't know because I haven't seen it before. That's a big one for me. Now, again, if I love this guy, that's not going to dissuade me. It's just something that you have to consider because it matters. It matters. Will pull the string from time to time. You'll see him and you're like, I know you can make that throw. You're trying to be too fine. Just let it rip. I'd much rather have my quarterback in certain instances. I'd much rather have you overthrow it than underthrow it because if the defender's looking, it's a pick when you underthrow it. Now, a lot of times, even at the NFL level, these corners are clueless. They have no idea where the football is. So they're going to end up getting PI. If you just jump back into them, you'll get a freebie. But I'd rather you throw it over the head of your guy than underthrow it. Yeah, your guy can adjust if it's underthrown and make a play. But again, if it's a savvy corner, it's a pick. And there are times where his guy he has one on the route. He's got 3 steps on the defender, and now he's got to wait on the ball. And you're like, you missed an opportunity there. Even if it ends up being a catch, instead of it being a 55-yard gain, it could have been a 71-yard touchdown. Needs more seasoning from the pocket. All right. He needs more seasoning as a pocket passer, and you can see it when it comes to him processing and progressing, or as I like to call it, P&P. You can see it when it comes to him being able to get through his progressions quickly. He gets stuck on his first or his second read, and he's in the pocket too long, and then things start to crumble around him, and he ends up taking a sack. Or, he gets stuck on that first read, and you're like, dude, let it go. Let it go. And he's holding it. He's hitching it. He's taking an extra hitch. And that's how you get and then he cuts it loose. And that's how you get yourself into trouble. That's how you throw a pick. So you can tell that with more experience, he'll get better. I got no doubts that as he plays more and he understands coverage and what defenses are trying to do, and he understands the offense that he's in, he'll be able to go 1 to 2 to 3 check down. And you see him do it from time to time, but you'd like to see him do it more consistently, and you'd like to see him do it a little quicker as well. All in all, I'd spend a top 15 pick on this kid. He's going to go top 10. Every one of the top 4 quarterbacks in this draft are going in the top 10. I would go out on a limb and say they're going top 8. I don't think any of the top 4 quarterbacks in this draft get past number 8. But I would be willing to spend a top 15 pick, meaning anywhere from 1 to 15, I would be satisfied with Trey Lance. I wouldn't spend 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, but 6, 7, 8, yeah, I'd spend that on him in a heartbeat. And my comp for him is Donovan McNabb. I see it. The first guy I thought of when I watched him play from the very first time I laid eyes on him last year when I was watching this kid, I said, he's Donovan McNabb. Same size, body build, the way he throws the football, how he kind of commands the field, how he goes about his business. He's Donovan McNabb. I just see it. So he's my number 3 quarterback in this draft.
LouieTeeNetwork.